Welcome to the channel, guys. I will start the video by pulling this plastic sheet off and we'll get access to the full engine. I need to check to see if there's any water, and then I will sit there and start filling it with some oil. Right, I now need to remove all of the lifters out of their packets and try and preload them, although that hasn't been very successful. Now I'm putting all of the lifters into their holes. Making sure that they are completely submerged in oil. And we'll dribble a little bit down where the chain is. For all the good that will do, as if you keep on watching, you'll see that we have a little bit of a problem coming that I never saw coming. Push rods are now in place. Now for the rockers. I will reapproach this job later with a torque wrench. As you may know, I am winding these up with an electric gun, and these really do need to be torqued down correctly. Now I've just put the final amount of oil in and I'm about to put the centre gasket in place. I don't know the true name of these particular items, but the end clamps need to go in first before the manifold goes in. Otherwise you're just going to get complete movement on the gasket, as you can see happening. I am also using all the original nuts and bolts from the GEMS engine to hold this manifold on. I genuinely don't know where all the original nuts and bolts have gone. Now I'm fitting the rocker covers. You'll note that I actually have left on right side, right on left side. That's something I will rectify later on. when I've moved the vehicle to the top of the garden. At the moment I'm not overly bothered by this, as I actually plan to polish these covers up along with the carburetors. Right, now I'm fitting the distributor unit, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated, as things don't quite go to plan. No. We'll make another coffee. Yeah, I'll see you in 4 hours then. Okay, we tried to preload all the lifters, but they're a little stiff and they're hard to push, so I reckon this is going to be pretty rattly when we first turn this over. Next thing I've got to do is just make sure that I have got the timing on the chain correct by just swinging that a full revolution and make sure I get no jam ups. I'm still a little bit over the top on oil, but once I've fired this thing up, we'll let the oil settle and then we'll drain down again to get it to the correct level, because all the oil wells would have filled up by this point, which at the moment is absolutely bone dry. After that, hopefully we'll get this running, and then after that we'll just pack up and that will be the end of this video. I don't know if you can see down there, but I do believe I've put the gear drive wheel the wrong way round, and I shouldn't laugh because it's really annoying, but it snapped the teeth. It was jamming up when I was turning it. I thought, I don't know, gave it one more wallop and boom. So now all of this has got to come off and I've got to start all over again. Damn it. I have now identified why the distributor teeth smashed. You've got gear cogs on the outside of the distributor. Let me go and get it. Now, distributor goes inside. The main crank chain here has a gear wheel there that drives this system here. And for some unknown reason, well, I know now why, but I didn't at the time, it sheared off all the teeth on my other distributor. I've got to take this one off to switch them over because I think the caps are different and I don't have a cap for this one. So we won't be able to get this running today if I don't do something. This is the error. It is a stupid little silly irritating mistake that no one picked up on. No one said anything to me, and that was why. The gasket is supposed to be a hole cut in the middle for the oil drive. You can see the imprints on the teeth. I wedged that oil right tight, so that wasn't turning. So when the crank was moving by hand, it was trying to turn the teeth and it smashed those to pieces because that shaft was jammed up. So when you do your gaskets, I think it would be very wise to remember, and because I've always been using the camera rather a lot, I can't keep up with stuff. That's my excuse. So I'm going to get a pair of scissors now, cut that hole out, put this all back on, reprime it and start again. And I think I've pretty much destroyed the gasket underneath, as you can see. So I'm now going to have to get a whole series of new gaskets. I'm really annoyed about this. A lot of piddling around, but I'm a little concerned there's some bits of metal in the bottom of that sump, so I'm going to have to drain the oil out and put some fresh oil in. Sorry, put that oil back in when I found the metal. And we are talking about some big chunks, not little flimsy little bits like that flipping snapped off. So we've replaced the wheel, the drive wheel for the distributor, We've got it set at top dead centre there. I hope it's not 180 out. Hopefully that's now number 1. I think that's what it's meant to be in the book. I think. Can't be 100%. So we're going to bolt that sucker down and then start laying out the HT leads. Clean the spark plugs, and then we'll put temporary wires on everything and charge a battery up, which I'll probably do this now tomorrow because I've left it too late in the day now, and charge that battery up. What will be instant to you will probably be another day to me. If I've got this correct, number one, if I haven't put it 180 over, top dead centre is already up, so we're good there. All the leads go to the correct corresponding cylinders. There's a coil there, but I don't know if that's any good. I do have another one, but it's on another engine I've got to strip off. I do have something else I can use temporary. How effective that will be, I don't know. So, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Now I need to drain that oil out because I'm a little bit worried that there's some bits of steel in there that broke off from that distributor. So, and I can't find my magnetic flexi lead that I can shove down there. I don't know what I've done with it. Otherwise I would have. That is the result of removing the oil and emptying the sump. Obviously removing the sump itself. I knew there was some more metal in there. There was quite a few chunks fell out. Another one here, look. From that blasted distributor. So I've now topped it back up. I believe we're at the right level of oil as well. I filtered the oil, so there's no more rubbish in there. Although I will be doing one more oil change because I've knackered the gaskets on the front and the back of the sump. Also the front cover is shot, so I need to purchase new gaskets for those two and then reseal back on. So it's all got to come off again, and I might as well chuck the oil away, get the last of the particulars that have been picked up inside the engine, get rid of that in the oil, new oil filter, and we'll be good to go. But we are good to go to give it a temporary start, but I'm not doing that tonight. Right, final day. I've jerry-rigged the battery, just sort of been pottering around. I've got oil everywhere, I've got petrol everywhere, carbs are leaking like you wouldn't believe. I can't really do much about it, so let's see what happens. Oh yes. What do you make of that then?
I like it.
So there you go guys, it's running. I don't think the oil pump is picking oil up. We've still got more timing to do. Tick over's got to be played around with. Obviously I've got to put throttle cable back on. But other than that, I'd say we are there. It was actually smoothing out a little bit as it was running. I did notice that. Let's do one more tick over and then I'm packing up. less rattly. Got one or two missing going on there somewhere, but yeah, I'm pleased with that. We know it will work. I got everything right first time apart from the oil pump. Unfortunately, that gasket caused a lot of damage. The oil is getting up there now, but we've got a big petrol leak in the carb, so the carb's got to come off, and we've got to strip those, clean them all up, and we're ready then for the next phase, which is actually a long way away, because I don't know what to do about any of it. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, that's the actual Morris Minor itself. Here's the situation. I'm going to lay it down as it is. To get that on the road, and to make me feel satisfied with it, I've got to bring that cab forward. I don't have any choice in the matter. As you can see, where your feet go, which is here on both sides, they come pretty damn close to the engine, as you can see on both sides, although there's a bit more this side. In fact, let's see what we have got inside. Right, so that is where your feet end there. There's barely enough room for 3 pedals in there at the moment. If I decide to drag that forward, I have got to remove all of that metal, all that rusty wreck. I've got to remove those side pieces, and I've got to bring it back to the original scuttle line which was there. And then that piece needs to be here. I've then got to make footwells to replace what I've cut out, which is all this lot, which will end up here, hiding all of that. Never be able to access that. What I'm saying is this Morris Minor project, it's not going to work. Doesn't matter how you look at it. The only way it will work is if I keep it where it is, put the wings back on, and I don't like it. There's no room. If I cut the wings down to the original sizes, there's no room for the radiator to fit, none whatsoever. So I'd have to make a bullnose Morris Minor. Who's ever heard of one of them? I've got that other bonnet that we picked up, and I could do something with that. But you want the honest truth? I've been pining for a Land Rover for a long time. I got rid of one about 8-9 years ago. It was a Defender 110. I chopped it up, made a hybrid with it, drove it around for a while. I had a Series 3 Safari in matte black, nicknamed the Black Dog. I drove that around. That was great fun. That was a V8. Then I went V6 on it. Then I went diesel on it. No, sorry, I went V8. Then I went diesel. Then I went V6. The diesel was a Transit diesel, early one. Gutless. Blew it up. Over revved it. Cam belt snapped. Destroyed itself. So basically, I want some input from you guys if you're willing to give it to me. Do you think this would be a much better project if I started buying up Land Rover components? And the first part I need is the outriggers and the bulkhead. I have the measurements, I know where everything's got to go. It would be a much better vehicle, more user friendly. So yeah, I kind of want to know where we stand on this. I'm not taking the engine out and putting it in a trike down. It ain't happening. I thought about it many times. I'm not doing it. I put too much money into the chassis of this thing to do that. Maybe if I start driving it around and it's getting a bit expensive and a decent engine comes along, like a Beamer engine, maybe I'll take it out then. So yeah, anyway, look, that is it. That's all you're getting. That's all I can give. I'm not really set up properly to run it for great lengths of time. I've got no water system on there. Those are prone for blowing their sleeves. So I think we're going to call it a day. So I'd like to say thank you everybody for being a part of that. There will be no more videos of that for a long time, because what I plan to do is chuck a hose pipe in the engine to cool it, and I'm going to drive it up the top in reverse, park it up, and that is kind of where it's going to stay, and bring the trike down because we need to do some repairs on the trike. In the meanwhile, I'm going to get back to the motorhome. I have picked up a load of stuff on the motorhome, which you'll see in the next episode. Some really interesting upcycling going on for the water system. We've got the shower to put in, so tune in on that one. They seem to be more popular. I only put the truck down for two reasons. One is I was fed up of it, and two, I noticed that some of my videos on this thing had skyrocketed. But since putting this one up, these series of videos up, no one's really paid much attention, so for that reason I'm going to stop. If my motorhome hits the same numbers, I'll be stopping at that as well. My reward is the thumbs up and the views, and I'm not getting them, and I have no idea why. So I'm out of here. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.